Hi guys, my name is Dani Dutschke and I work with Cindy in the NRM education team. Now in this video we're going to run through an activity called All the Water in the World. Now you've already heard from Zach about his farm in Loxton and how they're growing oranges and crops like wheat and barley, but in the past few years things have changed. They've experienced drought and rising water prices, so Zach's had to think about what foods they can grow to be more sustainable. Now, Zach's answer to this was farming crickets. Now, he mentions in his video that for every 1 kilogram of crickets he produces, he only needs 1 litre of water, which is a really water efficient food source. Do you guys know how much water is needed to produce the food that you eat? Have a look at this water use chart to compare all these different foods. Now let's start our activity, All the Water in the World. Now we know water is precious, but how precious is it really? This activity looks at all the water that we have in the world and how much of that water is available for human use. Now here is a map of the world. Now I want your group to identify where you can find water and in what different forms does water come in. Now my background might have given you a clue into where you can find water. You can find water in places where there are rivers, dams, lakes, and also the ocean. Did anyone think of underground water, or water in the air, or water that's in the form of ice in Antarctica? That gives you a clue into the different forms of water as well. So there's forms such as freshwater, salt water, brackish water, water vapor, which is the water that's in our air, and also ice. Now we're going to look at the water availability now. Now did you guys know that enough rain falls every day to cover the land 80 centimeters deep? That is a lot of water, so you'd think there'd be plenty of water for everyone, but that's not quite right because the distribution of rainfall is different all around the world. Even in Australia, you find in the tropical and subtropical areas of Australia, they get a lot more rainfall than what we do down here in South Australia. Now, I'm going to fill this jug up to 1 litre. And I want you guys to imagine this is all the water that we have in our world. There we go. Now we do have a very large ocean on Earth which holds a lot of water. Most of this water is unusable. I mean, we do have desalination plants, but they still only use a small portion of that water that's available. So how much of the Earth's water do you think is salt water? Any guesses? It's about 97%. So that leaves the remaining 3% of water we can use, which is about 30 millilitres of water. So I'm going to measure out this 30 millilitres of water. So this is the 30 mils of water that isn't salt water, but not all of this water we can use. That is because 2/3 of this water is either too far underground, we can't reach it, or is locked up as ice. So I'm going to measure about 10 mils of that in this jug here. There. So this is the amount of water that we have available to use. Now this is only 1% of all the water in the world that we can use as humans. Now that's not very much. Now this is the water that we have available to use for our lifestyles, watering our garden, growing food, watering our golf courses and our ovals, Also commercial and industrial use as well. Now, did you know South Australia is the driest state in the driest inhabited continent on Earth? That really shows us that we need to use our water more wisely and rethink our lifestyles and the food we grow to preserve our water, like Zach Schubert is doing by growing crickets. I hope you guys found that activity interesting and you learnt something from it as well. Now I want you guys to have some fun. I want you guys to run through the Comparing Apples and Earth activity, which looks at how much suitable soil we have available to grow our food. After you're done with that, I want your group to discuss what you learnt from it and also what you learnt from this activity as well. Thanks guys, and I'll see you later.